This evening, Guyana's government is taking the appropriate precautions to prepare for monkeypox disease. Daniel Melbourne released on $1.8 million bail as police investigations continue. Ministry of Home Affairs intends to invest more than $100 million in the construction of a training center at Timehri Prison. In the region, Brazil's Bolsonaro officially launches re-election bid, and internationally, 5 protesters reported dead in anti-UN protests in eastern DRC. Welcome to another broadcast of Channel 2's Headline News Updates. I am Bibi Bacchus. Thank you for joining us. Given that the infectious monkeypox disease is now regarded as a global public health emergency by the World Health Organization, Guyana is working with the international community using a coordinated approach to tackle the infectious disease. Minister of Health, Dr. Frank Anthony, stated that more effort is required to combat the illness. The minister noted that Guyana has no cases of the viral disease. However, an estimate of 16,000 cases in 75 countries have been recorded. A coordinated response by the international community will see member countries working together and investing resources to contain the outbreak. Meanwhile, the government is taking the necessary steps to prepare for the disease. To this end, the government said the vaccine used for smallpox have shown promising results and will be used to immunize persons against monkeypox. Since monkeypox and smallpox are as part of the same family of variole viruses. In addition, the ministry recently established a steering committee to prepare for the monkeypox virus. The committee sought guidance from the Centers for Disease Control, World Health Organization, and the Pan American Health Organization to establish local guidelines. A document is in works to define what monkeypox is, what are the clinical signs and symptoms, and how to conduct testing and diagnose the disease. A technical incident team was also established to determine when a person is infected with the disease. This consists of infectious disease specialists and dermatologists, along with public health and laboratory officials. The driver who dumped a man's dead body after an accident was released on $1.8 million bail. Esther Suarez has more details.
Daniel Melbourne, a driver who confessed to hitting down Rehanor Williams at Enmore Estate Road during the early hours of May 23, 2022, and burying his body in a trench filled with weeds, was released on a $1.8 million bail after spending the previous months on remand.
Melbourne of Ants Grove, East Coast, Guyana, made his second court appearance before Senior Magistrate Fabio Azor at the Vigilance Police Station on Friday, July 22, 2022. His attorney, Patrice Henry, made an application for a reasonable bail, citing the police investigation is still incomplete. Back in June, Melbourne was remanded on 6 charges causing death by dangerous driving, failure to report an accident, failure to render assistance after an accident, failure to produce a vehicle for examination, giving false information to the police, and attempting to obstruct the course of justice. He pleaded not guilty. The court heard that on May 23, 2022, around 00:20 hours, Williams exits a vehicle when he was struck down by a motor car PAB 2552 driven by Melbourne, but the driver allegedly dumped the body, then drove to South Haslington Access Road and abandoned his vehicle. Williams' family could not locate his body until it was discovered days later in a decomposing state near a Coco at College in East Coast, Guyana. The matter was adjourned until October 28 for reports. For Channel 2 Headline News, Esther Sober.
Thanks, Esther. A multi-million-dollar investment is slated for Cummins Lodge, Georgetown by 2025, with the development of 3 10-story structures that will house condominiums and office buildings. The project, being undertaken by Guyanese own Trican Development Incorporated, is anticipated to be among the first of its sort in Guyana. It is anticipated that the construction will begin by the first quarter of 2023, and the facility should be finished by 2025. The sod turning ceremony for the company, which will reveal the shift in the appearance of Cummins Lodge, will be done at the end of 2022. 3 acres of land will be occupied by 3 buildings, 2 of which would each include 54 condominiums. The third structure will be an office complex. The gated community will have multi-story parking and smart security. The goal of Trican Developments Incorporated is to create enjoyable living and working experiences through carefully crafted architecture and interior designs while merging local culture with state-of-the-art facilities for both comfort and luxury, since the company recognizes the needs for premium living and working facilities in Guyana. The facilities are expected to include uniquely woven outside facades, courtyards, rooftop gardens, and green spaces. Other amenities include pool facilities, a tennis and basketball court, a health and wellness facility, a spa, a courtyard plaza, a barbecue area, and event space. Stick around after the break. Ministry of Home Affairs intends to invest more than $100 million in the construction of a training center at Timehri Prison, and Canoe on the hunt for chicken following a multi-million-dollar cannabis trafficking bust.
Traveling soon? Then come into John Lewis Styles on Waterloo Street and let's help you choose the right set of luggage. You can choose to buy 3-piece luggage sets, or separate pieces, but the sets are always a better deal. Either available in soft poly, or ABS hard side material, with 4-wheeled spinners, and in many colors too. Also available are carry-on luggage, computer bags, duffel bags, backpacks, travel pillows, blankets and lots more to make your trip enjoyable. John Lewis Styles. Simply different.
Good girl forget things.
What's the problem, Granny? I want money for borrow for those surgery. I was dancing and I fall and fracture my hip.
If you need some quick money, you should check Lender's Jewelry and Pawn Shop.
Lender's Jewelry and Pawn Shop, Lot 238 South Road Border, Georgetown. Get jewelry made to order in just 72 hours. We also accept vehicles. Lender's, best rates, longest payback period.
Boys, I get through. Plus, I could dance again.
Lender's Jewelry and Pawn Shop.
Furnishing your home or office has never been easier. Here at Kissoon's, our inventory of locally made and imported furniture, offered at amazing prices, will leave you wanting more. From vinyl, floor rugs and carpets, bedroom, dining and living room sets, mattresses, pillows, office desk, chairs and filing cabinets, outdoor benches and tables. We have a piece of furniture for every room imaginable in your home or office. Check out our flagship store at Industrial Site Rijnveld or one of our branches in New Amsterdam, Port Morant, Riverton and Camp Street. Kissoon's Furniture, furnishing homes for over 50 years.
Sooner or later you will have another power failure. Are you prepared for the next blackout? Some essential equipment such as security cameras, lights, internet, gate motors, and water pumps may stop working. How can you prevent the next blackout? InverterTech has an affordable solution for you. A strong UPS system which uses the latest inverter and solar battery technology to prevent blackout. We smartly calculate your average power demand so you don't spend more than you need to. Call 223-2233 for more information.
When you need money and you gotta get it fast, Creative Jewelry and Pawn Shop is the place for that confidential transaction in a quiet and secure location. You'll get the highest value per pennyweight for your gold and also enjoy the lowest interest rates and longest payback period too. Yes, for that instant transaction to solve a pressing financial problem. That Creative Jewelry and Pawn Shop, 46 Boyle Place, that's between the Ministry of Housing on Brickdam and White Castle Fish Shop, be your first and only choice. Creative Jewelry and Pawn Shop, safe and sound, solid and secure, always there for you. Telephone 231-7878 and 223-8955.
Welcome back. On Monday, Minister of Education Prem Manichan announced that results for the National Grade 6 Assessment are expected on or around September 15. The minister visited the marking center as the marking of the papers concluded. However, she noted that several processes still must be completed. Officers of the Customs Anti-Narcotics Unit intercepted a motor vehicle near Hope Canal while conducting an operation in Dutch Fore Village, East Coast Demerara on Sunday, July 24th. The driver abandoned the vehicle and fled on foot along the Mud Dam. A subsequent search of the vehicle revealed several parcels of cannabis in 2 bags in the trunk. The motor vehicle, along with the suspected cannabis, was escorted to Kanu headquarters, where it was tested positive for cannabis. A total of 15 parcels weighing 33.4 kilograms with a street value of approximately 10 million Ghana dollars. The Customs Anti-Narcotics Unit is seeking information on the whereabouts of Akin Daniels, also known as Chicken, last known address 489 Trafalgar West, Gooseberries, and Sean Sears, also known as Sean Storm, last known address 416 Trafalgar West, Gooseberries, in relation to the matter as investigations continues. The Ministry of Home Affairs is planning to invest over $100 million to build a training center at Timehri Prison, as the service has more details.
The Ministry of Home Affairs is planning to invest approximately $105 million to build a training center at the Timehri Prison on the east bank of Darara. The Ministry of Home Affairs is now at the advertisement stage for the construction of the project. The National Procurement and Tender Administration Board Office will offer the project for bids this week. It is anticipated that the faculty, when completed, will benefit inmates at the Timehri Prison. The Ministry of Home Affairs has facilitated several training programs for inmates of the Timehri, Lozignan, and Mazruni prisons aimed at preparing them for reintegration into society. Several hundred prisoners from all three institutions have successfully undergone training in several areas: anger management, business, carpentry, tailoring, cutlery arts, joinery, barbering, and veterinary science are a few of these fields. Nicolette Elliott, Director of Prisons Acting, stated that the Prison Directorate is still optimistic that as prison infrastructure develops, more inmates will benefit from these rehabilitative programs. He noted that the rehabilitation of prisoners is an ongoing process, stating that this training adequately prepares them, whether with skills or educational training, so that when they are released back in society, they are productive citizens. For Channel 2 Headline News, Esther Sobers.
Thanks, Esther. Don't go way up to the break. 5 protesters reported dead in anti-UN protests in eastern DRC, and Trusk Sunak spars in first debate as UK leadership race heats up.
When you need money and you gotta get it fast, Creative Jewelry and Pawn Shop is the place for that confidential transaction in a quiet and secure location. You'll get the highest value per pennyweight for your gold and also enjoy the lowest interest rates and longest payback period too. Yes, for that instant transaction to solve a pressing financial problem. That Creative Jewelry and Pawn Shop, 4-6 Boyle Place, that's between the Ministry of Housing on Brickdam and White Castle Fish Shop, be your first and only choice. Creative Jewelry and Pawn Shop, safe and sound, solid and secure, always there for you. Telephone 231-7878 and 223-8955.
Furnishing your home or office has never been easier. Here at Kissoon's, our inventory of locally made and imported furniture, offered at amazing prices, will leave you wanting more. From vinyl, floor rugs and carpets, bedroom, dining and living room sets, mattresses, pillows, office desk, chairs and filing cabinets, outdoor benches and tables. We have a piece of furniture for every room imaginable in your home or office. Check out our flagship store at Industrial Site Rijnveld or one of our branches in New Amsterdam, Port Morant, Riverton and Camp Street. Kissoon's Furniture, furnishing homes for over 50 years.
Sooner or later you will have another power failure. Are you prepared for the next blackout? Some essential equipment such as security cameras, lights, internet, gate motors, and water pumps may stop working. How can you prevent the next blackout? InverterTech has an affordable solution for you. A strong UPS system which uses the latest inverter and solar battery technology to prevent blackout. We smartly calculate your average power demand so you don't spend more than you need to. Call 223-2233 for more information.
Traveling soon? Then come into John Lewis Styles on Waterloo Street and let's help you choose the right set of luggage. You can choose to buy 3-piece luggage sets or separate pieces, but the sets are always a better deal. Either available in soft poly or ABS hard side material with 4-wheeled spinners and in many colors too. Also available are carry-on luggage, computer bags, duffel bags, backpacks, travel pillows, blankets and lots more to make your trip enjoyable. John Lewis Styles. Simply different.
Good girl forget things.
What's the problem, Granny? I want money for borrow for do a surgery. I was dancing and I fall and fracture my hip.
If you need some quick money, you should check Lender's Jewelry and Pawn Shop.
Lender's Jewelry and Pawn Shop, lot 238 South Road Border, Georgetown. Get jewelry made to order in just 72 hours. We also accept vehicles. Lenders, best rates, longest payback period.
Boys, I get through. Plus, I could dance again.
Lender's Jewelry and Pawn Shop.
Welcome back. Now we take a look at news in the region and around the world. Brazilian presidential heir Bolsonaro has kicked off his candidacy for re-elections at a party event in Rio de Janeiro with a speech focused on God, guns and family as the right-wing leader attempts to claw back the commanding lead established by his main rival, former President Luiz Inácio Lula da Silva. Al Jazeera's Monica Yankiu reports.
Thousands of supporters lined up in front of this gym next to Rio de Janeiro's iconic Maracanã football stadium. Inside, crowds wearing the colors of the Brazilian flag cheer for President Jair Bolsonaro, calling him the Messiah and the myth. Bolsonaro's wife, Michelle, an evangelical Christian, spoke first. She made an emotional appeal, especially to women, given the president needs more of their votes if he's going to be returned to the top job. She reminded them of the attempt on Bolsonaro's life during the 2018 campaign, saying he'd survived to free the country.
I always tell him, Jair Messias Bolsonaro, do not be afraid. You have been chosen by God.
Bolsonaro then spoke, but made no reference to guns or his unfounded accusations that the electronic voting system is unreliable. He has been criticized in Brazil and abroad for repeatedly claiming that the October elections could be easily rigged. Experts say he is following former U.S. President Donald Trump by alleging fraud to justify what may become an eventual defeat.
Bolsonaro's supporters here are extremely confident that he will be re-elected. But polls show him trailing behind former President Luiz Inácio Lula da Silva.
Earlier this week, former President Lula da Silva was officially nominated candidate by the left-wing Workers' Party. According to recent polls, he has the support of more than 40% of voters. Bolsonaro remains in second place with more than 30%, but it's too soon to predict an outcome, as Bolsonaro has just approved an emergency aid package, allowing him to spend $7.6 billion until December, when his term ends. Monica Yankiu, Al Jazeera, Rio de Janeiro.
Internationally, the two final candidates vying to become the United Kingdom's next Prime Minister have gone head-to-head in a televised debate, clashing over the state of the economy, including each other's tax and spending plans. Al Jazeera's Jonah Hall reports.
The leadership candidates came to Stoke-on-Trent and they brought with them the rain. In this traditionally Labour voting Midlands city that voted Conservative for the first time in 2019, what wasn't there to greet them was much enthusiasm.
They're all self-serving, aren't they? They don't do anything for small towns in the north otherwise. You know, where's the powerhouse of the north that they promised us 8 years ago? There's nothing here anymore, it's dying.
I don't know, everyone makes mistakes, but I feel like when you run a country you shouldn't make a mistake, so everyone just wants someone who's not gonna make the country fail or fail people like Boris Johnson did.
Foreign Secretary Liz Truss and former Chancellor Rishi Sunak face a summer leadership campaign that kicked off in earnest with Monday night's debate.
I have not taken the easy road, right? In saying the things that I'm saying about the challenges facing our economy and what it's going to require to fix them, that doesn't make my life any easier. I'm doing it because I want to be honest with all of you.
I'm straightforward, I'm honest, I'm straight talking. I might not be the slickest presenter in the business, but I do what I say I will do. Okay. I've done it in trade, I've done it in the Foreign Office, and I will do it as Prime Minister.
Restoring trust, unsurprisingly, was a defining issue. There were areas of agreement on the environment and foreign policy towards China and Russia. The deepest differences, though, were over the economy. Disagreements on whether to lower taxes or control inflation.
Your proposals would mean that we get this short-term sugar rush of unfunded borrowed tax cuts, but that would be followed by the crash of higher prices and higher mortgage rates, and that is not something that I want to cause for anyone here.
You've just put in the highest tax rate for 70 years.
And that is why Rishi Sunak was seen as an unconservative chancellor, why a poll of Conservative members who will decide this race put Liz Truss 24 points ahead. Sunak can only hope that he's done enough to begin to change minds. There were pledges to fulfil Boris Johnson's election promise to level up long-neglected areas in the Midlands and the North like Stoke-on-Trent. Over successive decades here, they've seen the decline of their steel industry, then coal and ceramics. So you don't expect a sort of rousing welcome here in Stoke for these two candidates trying to sell themselves to the electorate?
I'd be surprised if they left the city with the tyres still on the cars, to be honest with you.
In 5 weeks' time, the promises made by one of these candidates will be put to the test. Jonah Hull, Al Jazeera, Stoke-on-Trent.
And finally, at least 5 people have been killed and 50 others wounded on the second day of anti-United Nations protests in the Eastern Democratic Republic of the Congo city of Goma, according to the government. Demonstrators says peacekeepers have not protected them from violence in the region and wants them to leave. Al Jazeera's Katrina Story reports.
This is what remains of a UN logistics base in Goma, in North Kivu province. Thousands of Congolese protesters chanted anti-UN slogans demanding the peacekeeping mission leave the country. They threw stones, looted office equipment and other material. Even the peacekeepers stationed inside and local police could not control the crowd.
People are dying every day in the north, in Beni and in Ituri province in the presence of MONUSCO. The peacekeepers have said they are unable to keep people safe.
To ensure the continued implementation.
The deputy spokesman for the UN mission says everything is being done to minimize disruption to its work.
The mission is activating additional security protocols and advancing contingency planning to ensure the continued implementation of its mandate and the safety and security of all UN personnel.
The relationship between some Congolese and the UN has been tense at best. The protesters say the UN has failed to protect them from frequent attacks. The UN peacekeeping mission in the Democratic Republic of Congo has had a presence here for more than 20 years. Despite this, more than 100 rebel groups in the east control the vast region that is rich in minerals.
We will respect our commitment with MONUSCO, but we should also avoid any speech or declarations likely to create mistrust.
Such altercations are not new. In 2019, there were riots in the territory of Beni. Several people were killed and UN property was destroyed. To this date, residents say the UN, the National Army, and other foreign troops have failed to stop the violence. Many Congolese say they are tired, they want peace, and if the UN cannot provide stability, then its forces need to leave. Catherine Soy, Al Jazeera.
And that is it for today's regional and international news. Here now is your 3-day weather forecast. That is all for this edition of Channel 2's Headline News Update. Tune in on Wednesday at 7 p.m. for another episode. Be sure to subscribe, like, and follow us on Facebook and YouTube. Until then, please take care of yourself and each other.